Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and concern that we come before you to debate this issue. Resolved, the federal government should put stricter laws on genetically modified organisms. This is an important topic so that people become aware of their health effects, in which include production of new allergens, increased toxicity, decreased nutrition, and antibiotic resistance. Genetically modified organisms are a broad group of plants, animals, and bacteria that are engineered from a wide variety of applications, ranging from agricultural production to scientific research. During this debate, first we will discuss the problems with GMOs. After that, we will cover the causes of GMOs, and finally, we will explain some solutions of GMOs that we have come up with. And now my group will elaborate on the problems with GMOs, the causes in which that affect both humans and animals, and the solutions in which the government should take to help lower the use and labeling of GMOs.
That are seen in any food store or convenience store is considered safe for consumption by the Food and Drug Administration. However, according to the University of Delaware educational article on genetically modified organisms, genetically engineered food has not been tested fully and is harmful because it uses materials from organisms that have never been a part of our food supply. These harmful organisms that reside in GMOs can cause adverse effects that have long-term damage. These damages range from very severe to very minimal, from malnutrition, cancer, and birth defects. This is caused when adding chemicals to organisms like plants, which then the plant's toxicity increases, creating toxic food. Another harmful factor is the use of Bacillus thuringiensis. According to an educational website, genetically engineered crops that have this toxin, Bt, is a type of toxin that certain genetically engineered crops can carry along with many other toxins. These toxins, which then eliminate helpful organisms such as ladybugs, bees, and butterflies, and threatening our very ecosystem. Due to these harmful effects, the federal government should otherwise change the restrictions on the use and production of GMOs.
Production in the United States revolves around efficiency, and in today's modern food industry, it is believed that genetically modified organisms provide a faster and more efficient way of production. With about 80% of all processed foods containing genetically modified organisms, it is of great concern that many of these consumers are being misled and misinformed by companies not clearly stating, if any at all, that GMOs are present in the given product. Individuals who wish to be informed on such products will find it to become a difficult task since the government does not impose on labeling laws. According to organic.lovetoknow.com, the FDA only requires that the manufacturer's label be truthful and not misleading. Currently in the United States, there are no laws that require a manufacturer to label whether or not their products are genetically modified. The only way a person can be certain they are not consuming a product containing genetically modified organisms is by looking for a USDA organic seal on its packaging. According to Food Safety News, USDA does in fact regulate who can make non-GM labels. The regulations should be expanded furthermore to place both non-GM and GM labels on items to properly inform consumers as to what they are about to purchase and consume. Actions such as these can only become reality if the government plans to step in and implement new regulations.
A study by the Non-GMO Project has shown that people want to know exactly what is in their food. The people that are trying to stop the labeling of genetically modified organisms is called Power Biotech Lobby. Labeling of genetically modified organisms on products for people helps them feel a little bit more secure in what they are eating. In order for people to understand the issues of genetically modified organisms, they need to be informed, and with an informed decision, comes with the responsibility of choosing whether or not you want to eat genetically modified organisms or not. With people's decision, they can begin to write bills and pass laws restricting the usage of genetically modified organisms. To this day, around 60 countries worldwide ban genetically modified organisms or have very strict laws regarding genetically modified organisms. On the other side, us, Americans, don't have strict laws on genetically modified organisms at all. Therefore, we as Americans need stricter laws on the labeling of genetically modified organisms. The laws can help people to understand what harmful materials they are putting into their bodies. We need to become more like the rest of the world and evolve into a country where we label products with genetically modified organisms or not.
The federal government should put stricter laws on genetically modified organisms. First, my group discussed the harmful effects of genetically modified organisms. Then we discussed the problems of not having genetically modified foods labeled. And lastly, we explained the solutions that will help solve the problem of non-labeling genetically modified foods. Many steps have been taken to try to stop the distribution of genetically modified foods. However, it is not enough. Over 80% of all grocery store shelves are genetically modified. Luckily, companies such as Trader Joe's and the Whole Food markets support the proposition of having labeled foods that are genetically modified. In our case, labeling would inform the buyer simply what they are buying. As a buyer, would or would you not want to know the type of food you're buying and the chemicals that will eventually run through your bodily system?